Hey, Inner Power Entrepreneurs, I'm your host, Dr. Amanda. And if you're a coach, expert, or service-based business owner, you're in the right place to learn law of attraction strategies that will help you break through to six figures and beyond in your business. And in this episode, you're going to learn 5 mistakes to avoid if you want to build a six-figure coaching business. We could say if you want to build a successful business where money is flowing in, it's growing, you have stability, you enjoy your life, you love what you're doing, and you're a service-based entrepreneur, this episode is for you because I'm going to give you the quote unquote mistakes. I don't love the word mistakes because I don't think anything is ever a mistake if you learn from it. Yet in this context, I want you to learn from things that I have tried and tested and done over the last 5 years that did and didn't work, and that I've helped other people work through when they were building their businesses. Because I want to help you shrink the timeline. You don't need to make the same mistakes that we all made. You can get there faster and more easily. And I really want you to think about the upward spiral growth trajectory of building a business. On that upward spiral growth curve, you have down parts, right? And up parts. So in order for you to expand to the next level, you've got to go through the down to get to the next expansive level of yourself. And I'd say that down is where you feel like you're in a quote unquote mistake, where you go, oh my God, this is so much harder than I thought it was going to be, or different. I'm really intrigued. I'm 6 years into my business at the time of this recording. At the very beginning of 2024 was the start of my 6th year. And over the last 5 years, I've gotten to work with so many different types of entrepreneurs and coaches, and I'm a coach myself. I've built this podcast, released courses, done group coaching, individual coaching, written a best-selling book, grown a YouTube channel. I mean, I have tried a lot of different things, done speaking and workshops and traveled and all the things. And there are so many cool options to build a successful home-based online coaching business that then takes you out into the world to connect and do all kinds of things. And there are so many things that you can learn to shrink the timeline. And in some ways, I also look at this and I think, I listened to other people and I heard other people, and there were still some of these things that I just had to test out myself. And I sometimes can't decide if that is short-sighted and I'm not coachable, or if it's just the way that business growth goes when you're doing it for the first time. It's like someone can tell you how to walk, but until you get up and do it yourself, you don't really understand what they're talking about. Someone can tell you how to ride a bike, but until you get on the bike yourself, you don't really know what it feels like to ride the bike. And so even today in this episode, when I am sharing with you the 5 mistakes to avoid, they'll be on your radar. And so my hope is that it'll help you move through it more quickly, and you can focus your mindset on these things so that you can get help from people who are ahead of you in the game, like me or someone else that you resonate with, and that you'll have these things on your radar so that you don't need to stay stuck for long, and you don't need to stay on that downward part of the spiral growth curve for too long. The reason I say this, if you remember my zones of business growth, there are 4 zones that you go through, and if you stay stuck in zone 1, 2, or 3 for too long, you burn out. You never get to zone 4, which is your zone of manifestation, where everything feels easy and good and flowing and your business is growing. That's where we all want to get, because if you stay in the burnout zones for too long, zones 1 and 2, and you don't make the money you want to make, then you're not going to make it as a coach or a service-based entrepreneur. And I don't want you to fail. I don't want you to give up. And that's the only way that you will fail, is if you give up. And it makes sense that you want to give up if you're not making any money and you're putting all of your time, heart, money, energy, effort, heart, and soul into building a business and it's not working. So, here I am showing up for episodes with you, always sharing my heart and my insights and my reflections. And these are intended to dig deep with you, help you think in new ways, and also see what has worked for me and other people that I've worked with and what hasn't worked. And then you consider for yourself, okay, what advice do I want to buy into and implement, and what do I want to drop? Because I want you to know first and foremost, you have the answers. And if you let yourself be intuitively driven, you will find the way. You're listening to this right now because somehow I'm part of your way and you're part of my way. And so that's how the law of attraction works. You take a step on the way and the way appears. Rumi said that, and I love that quote because that's really how the law of attraction works. You decide, okay, I'm committed to building a business. I'm going to take a step on the way is going to appear. And right now, I don't need to know every single answer. So if you're listening to this right now, then part of your answer is hearing these 5 mistakes to avoid. So I just wanted to preface this with that because I think it's important to know you're doing it all. You're on your way. I'm part of your way. Listening to this right now is part of your way. Perhaps this morning you're driving in your car and you're listening to this and you're going to have one light bulb go off that changes everything for you. Awesome. That means we were meant to be brought together. And that's how I want it to feel for you when you're attracting clients your way. Okay, let's dig into the 5 mistakes. So 5 mistakes to avoid if you want to build a 6-figure coaching business or service-based business. So number 1, and you know me, if you've been listening to me for a while, you know I'm always going to start with this. It has to do with law of attraction. So the first mistake is not being law of attraction driven. And what I mean by this is doing everything backwards, thinking that if you work harder and harder and harder, you'll make more money. Remember that when you're law of attraction driven, you're always first and foremost about getting aligned in your state of being. You're learning to drop fear, imposter syndrome, doubt, so you can get into a flow state so that you can live by the rules of universal laws and principles and win at the game of business and win at the game of making money, win at the game of life because you understand how the law of attraction works. So to me, it is critically important that you learn how the law of attraction works so that your business building and really everything in your life, your relationships, your money gets easier and easier. Because when you understand how to implement the law of attraction, all of a sudden the puzzle pieces will come together and you'll realize, oh, I'm the creator of my reality. So if I don't like what I'm getting on the outside, I got to change me. And when I change me, I take radical responsibility. I align my state of being, which is my thoughts, my feelings, and my beliefs to get what I want. And I do that first before I even take any action, knowing that when I do that, the action that I take will get higher ROI results. Another layer here when you're LOA driven or law of attraction driven is that you are very connected to your why and your purpose, knowing that desire is the number 1 creation force. So everything that's been manifested started with desire. The roads, the couch you're sitting on, the car you're driving, everything that you see in your reality was created by somebody having the desire to manifest it. And maybe they were conscious of law of attraction or not, it doesn't matter. What happened is they had this probably discomfort and thought, I would rather it be more easy. And they had this creative playfulness to the way they thought about the world. And they had this big picture why of like, I wonder if it'd be easier to drive in a car instead of ride a horse. And so that idea started to be created, Henry Ford, right? And so we think about how everything you're doing in your life right now is coming from a creative force of desire. So your why in your business is attached to desire. And if your why is strong enough, you will figure out the way to get there. And the universe will provide the way because you will have such clarity about what you want. You'll take steps in the direction and the universe will bring it to you and open up doors of opportunity. This isn't to say that you're going to sit on the couch and wish and hope. And the reason I say this is because action is evidence of belief. So if you believe that what you want is possible and it's a burning desire within you, you will automatically take action. And so you won't have problems with procrastination. The fear will be reduced because even if you're afraid, you'll still courageously take action because your why is so powerful and so meaningful to you. So being law of attraction driven is the very first thing you must do to build anything that's successful, including your business, including making money, including helping other people, because that desire's got to be there, the clarity of your mind. You've got to get aligned in your state of being to take productive daily action that leads to high ROI results. So the first mistake is not being LOA driven. And when you forget this part of the formula to success, you will notice that you will be stuck working too hard to make money. You'll notice that you keep getting repeated patterns of challenges coming your way because you haven't learned the lesson yet that you've got to first and foremost build your business from a state of peace and joy and happiness instead of stress and fear and desperation. So that is what it means to be law of attraction driven. You want to know your why. You want to take steps on the way. You want to apply my manifestation formula, which is to know what you want, take a step in the direction, let the universe bring you the way. And that is going to help you get into a flow state. So always remember this, when you aren't manifesting what you want, it's because you have resistance. That's the number one reason you don't manifest what you want. It's resistance. So resistance would look like not having clarity about what you want, not believing it's possible to have what you want, being in a state of fear or stress. That's all going to create resistance. Imposter syndrome creates resistance. So if you're struggling with any of these things, you want to start to work on your mindset, your money mindset, learn everything you can about universal principles. Hang out with me. Go to lawofattractionforentrepreneurs.com. Links in the show notes, lawofattractionforentrepreneurs.com. Hang out with me in my Law of Attraction program and learn the rules to master the game of life, the Law of Attraction rules. Okay, number 2, not mastering your money mindset. And this goes really well with number 1. I think this is really interesting how many people will focus on mindset, but they won't necessarily specifically focus on money mindset. And I want you to know how tied money mindset is to business growth. If you want to dig in deep to this, you can definitely go back to episode 48, where I talk about how your money mindset is the foundation of all of your success as an entrepreneur. So episode 48 of Inner Power Entrepreneur podcast. So money mindset. This has to do with you having sales fears, not charging what you're worth, working way too hard for the money that you're making, fearing that you're never going to be enough, that you don't know enough as a coach, that you don't know enough to teach people, that you don't believe that your energy, your intelligence, your credentials will ever be enough. So when you don't master your money mindset, you're going to stay stuck in this belief that I'm not smart enough as an entrepreneur. I'm not a good enough leader to delegate properly. I'm not able to charge high ticket rates because I don't really know what I'm doing. That is you having money mindset beliefs that are going to cause a lot of scarcity. Additionally, when you have a scarcity mindset around money, you're going to have a scarcity mindset around time. And when you have a scarcity mindset in general, it means you're not going to optimize your time and money's not going to flow in easily. You're going to be working way too hard, and then you're going to stress out, burn out, give up, and not get the success that you want. This cycle will keep playing out in all areas of your life and business and money making until you decide to change into a person who believes in yourself and understands that wealth consciousness has to do with your money mindset. And people who are really wealthy, keep the money and have fun in their lives and feel good are the ones who have mastered their money mindset. They believe in themselves. They enjoy what they're doing in the world. They build and cultivate connected win-win relationships. They feel powerful as individuals. They love what they do. They're generous. They share their gifts with the world. That's a person who has high wealth consciousness. And if you want to have a business that has big impact in the world and really helps a lot of people, then money will just happen automatically for you because you're going to be bringing more value, and money is just an exchange of value. And so if you're not mastering your money mindset, you're going to be stuck in all of these areas and you're going to be creating resistance. You're going to not have optimized time, and your life is going to go by in a drudgerous way. Your business is going to become a prison, and that doesn't feel good. So master your money mindset. This is such an important topic. In my Law of Attraction for Entrepreneurs daily program, every Wednesday, we do money mindset learning. So I've got all kinds of resources for this. Of course, if you haven't read my book, I am a moneymagnetbook.com. Get free chapters, buy the book. This will help you a lot too. So I am a moneymagnetbook.com. Number 3, scattered energy. So this is the third mistake to avoid if you want to build a 6-figure business, scattered energy. This ties back to number 1, not being law of attraction driven, and number 2, not mastering your money mindset. It's another element and layer of you having your business growth slowed down and be hard because you are not focused with your energy. So let's break down what scattered energy looks like. First and foremost, remember, scattered energy leads to scattered results. Scattered energy leads to scattered results. Scattered energy is going to look like having a scattered brand. So I call this scattered brand identity, and this is really a zone 2 stuckness. So in zone 2, you are getting stuck in over delivering and undercharging, or overworking and getting underpaid. And a lot of this is because you have scattered brand identity, which means you create scattered efforts when you're putting your products, programs, and services out there. You're overcomplicating everything, and you aren't thinking about what is it that gets me new clients, that brings in money, what's my fastest path to cash, what's my most fun path to cash. Instead, you are most likely copying other coaches that you see who are successful and trying all the things that they've done that cause you to feel frustrated and discouraged because you watch it working for them and you think it'll work for me too, and then it doesn't, and you go, oh my God, crap, now I'll try a new thing. So a lot of this is shiny object syndrome. So scattered energy is going to lead to shiny object syndrome because you're attempting to try to figure out the problem of not getting fast results. And so you'd want to try everything, and you go here and you go here and you try that and you try this. And that scattered energy leads to scattered results. So you want to narrow your focus. So in this scattered energy piece, there's a lot of procrastinating. So if you think about what procrastinating is, it's you thinking you need to know everything in order to be taken seriously or to have the right credentials so that then you can go help people. Procrastinating is a version of procrastination that can be masked as feeling pretty good in some ways because you're learning, which is fun. As a coach or a service-based entrepreneur, most entrepreneurs love to learn. And so, there's this never-ending learning possibility, right? You could learn all day, every day, yet you need to implement and teach and coach on what you're learning, or the learning doesn't really do you much good. Otherwise, you're just, learning, and you're using it as a method to not go out and sell. I see this happen for early, pre-six-figure coaches who are afraid to sell. So this ties back to the money blocks problem of number 2, where you're not mastering your money mindset, because procrastinating can be masked as being a good thing. You're going, oh, I'm earning another credential. And the outer world sees that as a positive thing. But if you're not making any money in your business right now, then you want to be focused on implementing what you're learning and getting clients, getting paid to learn. So keep practicing coaching as you are learning, and then implement what you're learning, and then get paid for the next workshop through your clients, because you're going, okay, I have this workshop I want to go to. How many clients do I need to get funding to go to that workshop? And then when you're at the workshop, get clients. And so, I have this formula written down: procrastinating plus procrastination just in general plus perfectionism equals poor profits. So procrastinating plus procrastination plus perfectionism equals poor profits. And poor profits, obviously, is not going to help us get to 6 figures easily. The other piece here is overcomplicating things. So instead of going out and practicing lead gen and just having powerful conversations, you're probably using procrastinating or shiny object syndrome and confusion to keep you from having those conversations. Because sometimes when we're newer in business, or we are pre-6 figures, even you can have this experience post 6 figures too, you're scared to talk to people. And powerful conversations are what lead to opportunities. So remember this: every interaction is an opportunity. Every interaction is an opportunity. When you have a powerful conversation with someone and you make them feel different, they want to work with you. So lead gen is critical here. And scattered energy looks like you put off lead gen until the last thing you do because you're afraid of sales, and you're afraid of being pushy or looking like a sleazy sales jerk, and just so many things play into this scattered energy. And so, you want to be asking yourself, how many conversations can I have per day? How many powerful conversations did you have last week? If you didn't have any, and then you look at your time spent, and you spent a lot of time learning about how to coach or how to build a business, but you didn't actually talk to anyone, you've got it backwards. That's scattered energy. So you want to narrow your focus to expand your freedom. And when I say that, what that means is get clear on the highest priority action steps you can take to build a successful business and start doing those. I've got a step-by-step roadmap for you. Go to coachingbizgrowthroadmap.com, coachingbizgrowthroadmap.com. The link is in the show notes. This is a limited series podcast that gives you the exact 12 steps to grow your business to 6 figures. So this is a new limited series that I released. It's awesome. You're definitely going to want to listen to it. It leads you to being able to work with me either in a course or in my group coaching program. And I've got all the answers for you. I can help you get clear in your energy and get laser focused. So like I said, everything I teach you is going to help you get law of attraction aligned, take action from a place of strategy and alignment, and then you have easier profits. So then we've got number 4, not being packaged to profit. Okay, so not being packaged to profit, what this means is that usually your niche is too broad, you have too many offerings, your offerings are low cost, and you're confused. And remember, confused minds don't buy. You've heard this many times, I'm sure. Confused minds don't buy. The interesting thing also here is that confused minds don't sell. So when you're confused about what you offer, you're changing it up based on who you're talking to, and you don't have a signature program that's packaged to profit, you're going to be offering too many things. It's going to be scattered. You're going to be confused when you're talking to people. You're not as confident when you're on consults, and this causes slow business growth. And so again, you want to narrow your focus to expand your freedom. I highly recommend for coaches who are pre-6 figure to only have one signature program that they offer. And until they get to 6 figures or really stable income months that are supporting you powerfully, then add something after that. You can add downsells or side sells or upsells or VIP days, whatever you want to add after you get stability. But at first you want to be so laser focused, because otherwise it's confusing to people who are coming to you. And when you're thinking about being packaged to profit, this also goes into scattered brand identity. When you have a really clear package, people can help you by sending you referrals because they know who you are and what your brand stands for and what you're good at doing. If you're all over the place offering to too many different types of people and too many different programs, no one knows what you're doing. They're confused. So confused minds don't buy and confused minds don't sell. And another thing here is it's really important to consider how it is just as easy to sell something for $47 as it is for $5,000. So let's say you want to get to 6 figures. I haven't done the exact math. Let's see if I can pull my calculator up here really quickly. So let's say you want to get to $100,000 per month, and you have a $47 offering. You need to sell 2,128 of those. That is a lot of sales. I mean, wow, you got to have a massive list for that. You've got to have a very powerful lead gen strategy and that's just not likely at a beginning stage of business. So I recommend when people start their businesses as coaches, they figure out a high ticket, which could be anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000. And you then sell those. So if you have a $2,000 product and you want $100,000, you're going to need to sell 50 of them. Okay. So you're going to need to have 50 clients at $2,000. So that's one client a week at $2,000. Let's say you want to have a $10,000 program, you need 10 clients for the year. So just gauge and reverse engineer, gauge your income and how many people you need based on your package. And I love to help people package their programs based on their zone of genius, based on their area of expertise, based on what the market will pay for, because there's some different markets for different products, programs, and services. You can be at the higher end, but you don't want to be so far that no one's going to buy it from you. And you also want to know how to sell it really well. If you really are unique and you're niched and you're clear, people will pay a lot for that transformation. So you want to be results based, not dollars for hours based. So you've really got to get clear on the results you're delivering. And that way you can package your program in a price that is going to match your market. You're going to need to get over your imposter syndrome here. I know some people get really freaked out about charging what they're worth. And so this is a money block. And we really want to work on those things. Otherwise, you're always going to be stuck hustling to sell too many things, and it's just going to feel frustrating over time, and you're not going to get to 6 figures easily, and it won't be a situation that's scalable. So not being packaged to profit can be a very big problem. Number 5, being afraid to invest in experts. This one is so common, even for myself. It's taken me a long time to be willing to invest in experts. I've delegated tasks almost since day one of my business because I knew I wasn't going to have fun in certain things. And if I didn't delegate, let's say podcast production, I would never be where I am today because that would have taken a lot of my time and energy, and I could delegate that easily. Now, I've spent over $100,000 on coaches. Some of them were aligned and some of them were not a good fit for me, and I wasted money other than, of course, learning lessons that were helping me in the future to not waste more money. So when you're delegating, I want you to get really clear on the question of who can help me accomplish the how. You're looking for the expert who is going to help you get to solving the problem of building your business. And delegation in the proper way will make you money. So I always tell people to dad your way to success. That means you want to drop, automate, and delegate. And the reason this is important is because when you do this, you get to be in your zone of genius, and your zone of genius is magnetic to money. Remember, zone 4 is called the zone of manifestation. To get into your zone of manifestation, you want to dad your way to success. Which means that when you delegate, you want to find the powerful expert who's that can help you. Let's say you're in the very early stages of business building and you don't yet want to pay for a high ticket coach or consultant or service. Then you're going to decide, how can I delegate to somebody who can do it up to 80% as good as I do for now, and they're going to help me get the ball rolling, momentum built, and then once I have the funding, I will delegate to a powerful who is better at me than it. They can do it better than me. And this is something I've really learned where I go, okay, I don't want to know everything in my business. That's not in my zone of genius. Certain activities aren't in my zone of genius. And so then I delegate to powerful who can help me expand and get to the 7-figure level. Remember, you're always going to be stuck where you are until you expand your thinking. I love this theory of what got you here will keep you here. So for me, what I'm doing right now has built a 6-figure business. If I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to stay at 6 figures. So in order to get to 7, I've got to expand who I'm having help me as experts. I've got to expand my thinking. I've got to start hanging out with 7-figure entrepreneurs, right? So that's how you want to be thinking about being afraid to invest in experts, and you want to start to delegate. All right, let's recap. And first, CTA for today and action steps. I want you to go listen to the Coaching Biz Growth Roadmap. So coachingbizgrowthroadmap.com. This is a limited series podcast. It's like a mini course with a downloadable action steps worksheet. So coachingbizgrowthroadmap.com. And in that show, you will see links to be able to work with me on all these things that we talked about today, including helping you build a 6-figure service-based business and get really zone of genius aligned, law of attraction aligned. So that's an action step for you today that will help you take it to the next level. Those are the steps that I took to go from food stamps to building a 6-figure business fast, and the ones that I teach to the people that I work with. Let's recap. So number 1, these are the 5 mistakes to avoid if you want to build a 6-figure coaching business. Number 1, not being law of attraction driven. Number 2, not mastering your money mindset. 3, scattered energy. 4, not being packaged to profit. And 5, being afraid to invest in experts. Remember to go to coachingbizgrowthroadmap.com, start listening to that, and until our next episode, I'm sending you giant hugs and inner power high fives.